guys! So this is the first sit-down video I'm doing for this channel, and I've been wanting to do sit-down videos talking about different parts of respiratory therapy, travel therapy. It's just been so crazy with work and everything to actually find the time to sit down and record. So as you can see, this is not my house or my place at all. I'm actually on assignment now in Sacramento, California. So this is a rental travel housing thing. So I was trying to get like a good background, but excuse the oven and all that, but this is the best I could do, okay? I actually still even have my luggage right here. We just got back from Vegas for a few days. It was a super spontaneous trip. If you follow me on Instagram, it's Rachel Dell. No, that's not even my Instagram name. If you follow me on Instagram, Rachel Dell, I post a lot on there about like what's going on in my life if you're interested. But feel free to follow me on Instagram. I don't know why I'm pointing here because I don't know where it's gonna be. So just bear with me with the background and the editing and everything. I'm still super new at all this, so it's gonna be a learning process. A project, if you will. But I actually had a few people message me on my Instagram asking me if I had done any of these COVID deployments that they're finding pretty much everywhere for nurses and RTs. And when I say these COVID deployments, I'm sure you've seen them everywhere. They're really high paying assignments. There's different companies that offer these kind of deployments. So I think if you found this video, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm still debating whether I want to even say which company I actually worked for, because I did a few COVID deployments with one of the companies. So I really wanted to take the time to talk about what to really expect during these deployments, how the process goes. So a little bit about me. I am a respiratory therapist. I have been a therapist since 2018, so a little bit over 2.5 years, give or take. I actually became a travel therapist at the beginning of the pandemic. I was at my full-time job in Dallas, Texas, and I left in June. So the pandemic, I would say it started in March, so I stayed at my full-time job in Dallas from March to June, and then in June I left to become a travel therapist. So my very first assignment right off the bat was a COVID crisis deployment. So from the very beginning, I found out about this COVID crisis deployment actually through my boyfriend, who is also a respiratory therapist. I think his brother sent him a link on Twitter. Specifically, this company that I worked for, they usually post whenever they're needing respiratory therapists or nurses on all their social media outlets: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. How it works, how the signing up process works, which I think is one of the most difficult parts for a lot of people, is even just getting their foot in the door to come work for these COVID crisis deployments. So what happens is they'll post it on their social media, a time for RTs, nurses to call, and a specific number for them to call. I've heard people waiting on the phone for like hours just to get through to someone. I have been so lucky and blessed that I've never waited more than like maybe 10 minutes. And I'm not trying to brag, I just think I've been super lucky with these assignments, because the very first time I called, I think I waited maybe like 10 minutes and I got through to someone right away. And I've actually done a few deployments with this company, and I've really never had that much of an issue getting through to someone. But speaking to people that I've met and online, you can just read the comments. People are saying, I mean, they're on the phone for hours. So I don't even really know how the whole phone line works and how they do things, but I've just been so lucky that I haven't had to wait on the phone too long. But the second you do get through to someone, it's like you basically hit the ground running. So they get all your basic information, your license number, your driver's license number. So I would definitely say when you do call, make sure to have your driver's license, your respiratory care license number, because they will ask for that when you do call into the line. And I think just having all that stuff ready makes the process to get signed up to work a lot easier. So once you give all your information to the recruiter on the phone, they'll let you know that you're signed up and ready to go. If this is your first appointment with them, they do a background check on you, and so once that clears out, and that will pretty much take a couple hours for that to clear up, they'll send you an email and send you all the information you need to know what color scrubs to wear, like a checklist of things to bring. And even in that packet, they do ask for some more information in there, like to send you to send them copies of like your driver's license and stuff like that. So as you've seen on all their social media posts, it's a very quick turnaround. So once you get signed up on the phone, you have 24 hours to report to your location. So on the phone call, they tell you which city you're going to be deployed to. It can be any city in Texas. I've been sent to San Antonio, Dallas, cities I've never even heard of before, and I've like been in Texas all my life. Far, Texas, El Paso. I spent about a month in a city called Pecos, Texas, which was like way down by the border. And so they can send you anywhere throughout Texas. So what happens is once they clear you with your background check and make sure your license is valid, they'll send you an email and it will let you know which hotel you have to report to the next day. They usually give you until 10 p.m. the next day to check into the hotel. Now that email can come anytime throughout the night. I mean, I've gotten that email at 9 p.m. that night to like 6 a.m. in the morning, letting me know which hotel to report to. And usually they'll send you an email and also a text. They like to communicate with you through email and text. So with that being said, once you get off the phone, you know which city you're supposed to be going to. You just don't know which hotel you're going to be assigned to. So all the fun stuff, housing and transportation. Why did I say it like that? Housing and transportation. So the great part about this company is that they do provide you with housing and transportation with no cost to you. They cover your hotel during the whole length of your assignment, and they drive you to and from the hospital. It depends on whether you're at a big hospital or small hospital. Big city, small city. Usually if you're at a really big hospital, they have these huge charter buses that they take everyone to work to. But if you're at a smaller hospital, like when I was in Pecos, there was only about, oh gosh, there's only like 5 of us that started there. So we had like 3 rental cars that we each had to share. So it really depends where you're deployed to as to what mode of transportation you'll have. As far as getting to the location, you do have to cover that up front. But with your first deployment, you do get a $500 relocation bonus. And what I've noticed is the very first time you deploy with this company, they will give you $500 on either your first or second check to cover the expense of you flying out there or driving there, whichever way you decide. But if you deploy with them again, they don't give you the $500. So it's really just the very first time you go with this company, they give you $500 to relocate. And like I said, the really good thing about this company, they do provide you the housing and transportation. As far as housing goes, you will always be assigned a hotel. Each time I've been deployed, it's been pretty good hotels. It was usually like a Marriott, Hilton. I heard some people in Austin were even at a JW Marriott. So they're usually pretty nice hotels that you are staying at. If it is a huge city like in El Paso or in San Antonio, there were multiple hotels that nurses and RTs were staying at. And one of the things I love about this company is they set you up pretty good on your housing. As far as transportation goes, like I said, it depends which city you're going to, whether you get a bus or a rental car. But when I say transportation, I mean your transportation to and from work. You are not allowed to drive your own personal vehicle to work. They do require you to use the transportation that they provide for you. I think it's like a liability thing. I'm not even sure really why, but that's the rules. And lots of rules when you come work for this company. Like a few of the deployments, I had brought my own car, but I still had to take their mode of transportation to get to work. But as far as your days off or having to go to the grocery store, things like that, you do have to provide your own vehicle. So you can drive your own car to go to the store, get some food to eat. If you don't have a car, which a lot of people didn't have their car because, you know, they're coming from out of state. Of course, it depends where you are. Sometimes they'll have like a shuttle that will take you to the store. We'll take a group of people to the store or something like that. And I think some places even had rental cars for you to borrow to go to the store with a group of people. I knew a lot of people that either had their own car or they just Ubered to go to the store or get food. With that being said, I would say don't depend on Uber or something. When I was in Pecos, Texas for one of these deployments, there was no Uber or Lyft offered. It was that small of a town. So that was a big struggle at the beginning. The company did bring rental cars for everyone to use after we told them, hey, there's no way for us to go anywhere here just to even go to the store. So they will provide you a mode of transportation for all of that. I feel like I jumped into this so fast. There's so many things I want to say. So one of the things a lot of people have asked me about this company to work for them is what should they expect? And I feel like the number one advice I could give to someone doing these COVID crisis deployments is to be very, very patient, open-minded. You really have to just go with the flow with assignments like this. They run it very military-like. A lot of the people that work on site for the company do have a military background, so it's ran very military-like, so very strict. Lots and lots of rules. I feel like if you're one of those people that, I guess it's like a type A personality, this might not be a good fit for you because you just have to go with the flow. So for example, when you first deploy, you can be sent to a city, and that really might not be the city you end up getting an assignment to work at. In my experience, there was one time I was sent to El Paso, and then the next day around 9 a.m. they told me, all right, you're going to be deployed to Midland, Texas, which is like 3 to 4 hours away from El Paso. So I got on a bus with a bunch of other people. At this particular assignment, I did not take my car. Thank God, because I would have hated to drive back and forth. I got on a bus with a bunch of people at 9 a.m. I was sent to Midland, and then literally an hour into the drive, they were like, is your name Rachel? I was like, yes. You're actually going to be sent to Pecos, Texas, which was like an hour away from Midland. And they can do that to you. You can literally be sent anywhere throughout Texas at any point in time during your deployment. So like I said, you have to be open-minded, flexible, very, very flexible, because they can send you anywhere at any time. And I had met people that were assigned to a city and they moved to 3 different cities before they actually got sent to a hospital to actually work. So yeah. So that's one of the biggest things I would advise to you, is to be very flexible. Know that you have to go with the flow when it comes to these assignments. And hopefully you're lucky enough to get deployed and go work. I do have a few things I would recommend packing before you leave. I wish I had known these things during my first deployment. I actually had someone message me on Instagram asking me what they should bring and pack, and I was like, the number one thing I would tell you is to not overpack. And this coincides with my earlier advice of how they can send you anywhere. My very first deployment, I brought like 2 huge bags and like bins of stuff, and thank God I never got sent to another city. But can you imagine having to like pack all your stuff again and then get sent to another city and just keep doing that until you finally get assigned to a hospital? So I would say do not overpack when you come to these things. I would definitely just pack enough scrubs for a week. So with this particular company, they do require you to wear black scrubs. So I would say if you don't have enough scrubs for a week, which is 6 days, you would work 6 days straight, definitely bring coins for laundry at the hotel and detergent. Detergent is definitely something I always pack in my bag whenever I do these deployments. It just comes in handy, so you're not overpaying for the little detergents they sell at the hotel. And definitely bring snacks, water, some kind of food, just to hold you over for maybe the first or second day. I'm not saying like pack your whole pantry. For example, when I was sent to Pecos, when I got there, there was no Uber Eats, there was no Uber taxi, like literally nothing to get me from point A to point B. So luckily, before I had left El Paso, I had like a few bottles of water but no food. So I had to like buy overpriced food at the hotel, which was just like microwavable, you know, stuff before we could actually get to a grocery store. So just, you know, have some food ready just in case you're not able to go grab food or something when you get there. You never know what's gonna happen once you get to the hotel. All right, so you got everything packed, you're heading to your hotel, and what happens is you get to the hotel and they usually have a sign with the company's name, and when you check in, they'll let you know where you need to go to talk to someone that's the on-site representative for the company. Once you get there, you check in, they know you're there, and you're either going to be statused as standby or activated. So these 2 different statuses. So if you are on standby, that means that they do not have a hospital for you to work at. You're not assigned to any hospital, so you're on standby and you'll just basically wait at the hotel until they find a hospital for you to work at. But There are a lot of rules that come with being on standby. One of the best things is you will get paid if you are on standby. You will get paid for 12 hours. That's like a good or bad thing, I guess, if you're okay just hanging around at the hotel. I know some people it drives them crazy. When you are on standby at the hotel, you can be activated at any time. They could call you and say you are assigned to so-and-so hospital, you have 40 minutes to get downstairs and begin your shift. So with them telling you that you can be activated at any time, you really have, when you're on standby, you have to be ready to work at any point for 12 hours. So they would only call you to come work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. They're not going to call you in the middle of the night to start a shift. So just know that even though you are on standby and you're not working at a hospital, it doesn't mean that you can just leave and go somewhere. You have to be at the hotel the whole time you're on standby. On top of that, when you are on standby, there are 2 meetings you have to attend, one in the morning and one in the evening. All of the people that are on standby have to go to these meetings. You'll be on this phone call. It's like this general phone call where they talk about all the things that are going on with the company. And then usually after the phone call, the on-site representatives let you know like news and details that you need to know. So those meetings usually last like 30-45 minutes. It really just depends. And once you sign out on the evening meeting, you're pretty much off work, so you're free to do whatever. But they're free to do whatever is very limited when it comes to this company. So even when you are assigned to a hospital, you're working your assignments and you have your 1 day off, you are actually not allowed to go 200 miles away from the hotel, but you're not allowed to go back home for a day. And you're actually not even allowed to go and visit your family and friends on your day off. That's another rule we'll touch base on later. Being on standby is a good and bad thing depending on your personality. Like for me, I loved it. I mean, yeah, you're stuck in a hotel room, and a lot of the times, especially because of the pandemic, the gyms weren't open. You're really just stuck in the room. You can like walk around the hotel, but it's very limited options on what you can do in the hotel while you're on standby. So like I said, it depends on your personality. My boyfriend, Justin, actually did a deployment with them too once, and he hated it because he's just such a, he has to be out and about and doing things. Me, I'm fine. I can be in the room and I'm perfectly happy watching TV. So if you're not on standby, you are activated. And when you are activated, it means that they have a hospital for you to work at and you are assigned to this facility. So usually once you're assigned, they'll give you a time or day for your onboarding, which is orientation, but because these are crisis deployments, their orientation is not like most hospitals. It's usually just like, here's your badge and here's the department. Like, it's quick because they need you to work like right away, right? As of right now that I know of, the schedule is you work 6 days straight, 12 hours, and then you get 1 day off, and then 6 days, 1 day off. When you get to the hospital, you'll be assigned either day shift or night shift, and most of the time you really don't have a preference. Some hospitals will ask you what you prefer, but it's what they need. You're there to work for the hospital and fulfill their needs. And throughout the whole assignment, you'll be days or nights. You can't go back and forth. There was one assignment where the respiratory manager wanted us to rotate the night shift. So he wanted us to do like 1 week days, 1 week nights. And when we told the representative, they called the higher ups to see if it could get approved, and they were like, absolutely not. You always have to be A shift or B shift. You can't have both. You can't have a swing shift. So just keep that in mind when you're going to your assignment. You're gonna take what you can get. Whatever they tell you you're gonna work, that's what you're gonna work. So you'll have 6 days straight, 12-hour days working, and then 1 day off. Absolutely no changes can be made with that. Your day off is based on the facility as well. They can choose your day off because most of the time at these facilities, their whole staff is from this company. So they want to spread out when each person has their days off. So you really have no choice with that either. So you get activated, you get your schedule, you work your 6 days straight, and you have your 1 day off. With that day off, the rules still apply. You cannot go 200 miles away from the hotel. There's no alcohol, drugs allowed in the hotel while you are working your whole assignment. They really just don't want a lot of socializing while you're working there, because, and I think the main reason they make these rules is because they don't want to spread COVID. You know, we're all healthcare workers, we're all together, we're all driving in the car together. I think they're just really trying to limit the spread of COVID. I don't think it's a personal attack on anyone. In my personal experience, After I worked the 6 days straight, on my day off, I would do nothing. Like, I was so tired that I mostly slept during the day and went to the grocery store, came back, and next thing you know, it's already time for you to go back to work the next day. So don't think of this as a regular assignment where you're gonna like go do other fun things. I mean, I'm sure people made time and made room to do things, but for me, in my experience, I took that day off to kind of regroup, go grocery shopping, rest, and just rest as much as I could. And so with this company, I do believe that their new rule now is you do a minimum of 4 weeks with them before you can demobilize, which means go home, end the assignment. This is not a contract travel assignment. It is a COVID crisis deployment. That's what they always say. First thing when you get there, they always say this is not a contract, but they do require you to work a minimum of 4 weeks. So even though it's not a contract that you do have to work with them for so and so many days, if you don't stay the minimum 4 weeks, I don't think you're able to come back and work for them anymore. Like, you wouldn't be in good standing with them. So how that works is, once you even know the day you want to book your flight and go home, you have to let the on-site representative know that, hey, I'm planning to go home on so-and-so date. They'll give you paperwork to fill out. It's not a lot of paperwork. It's basically just letting them know what day, and you have to sign it and let them know that you're going to return your badge back to the facility. And once you let them know that you're demobilizing, the day of your demobilization, you do have 24 hours to stay in the hotel. So it's not like you tell them, oh, I'm going to leave on Monday, and you have to leave that Monday. They give you till Tuesday, Tuesday the next day. But you do have like 24 hours in the hotel to like get your things together. They're not just going to kick you out. I think the process of demobilizing is the easiest part of the whole assignment. So with everything I have said, and I feel like there's just so much information when it comes to these assignments, I feel like maybe I'm missing things, but with all that being said, do I personally think it's worth it? And I would say 100% absolutely. I do think these COVID crisis deployments are worth it. Yes, there are a lot of rules. There's not much you can do while you're on assignment besides work, but you're getting paid. You know how much these companies are offering for these assignments. I'll say this company offers between $8,000 to $10,000 a week to work their COVID deployment. And when you're getting paid that much, I mean, you're there to work. You're not there to really like socialize and go do things. So just know that if you do sign up for this, you will be working for the 4 weeks that you are there. But with that, I mean, I have met some really good people on the deployments that I've gone on. I still keep in touch with them to this day. Everyone that's on assignment with you are the only people that will understand your struggle and the things that's going on in your head while you are there. So for me, yes, it was worth it. And honestly, I'm even trying to go on another deployment. But whether this kind of assignment is for you really depends on your personality and how you deal with things. There's so much information and so much I could probably say about these deployments. I feel like I've missed out on maybe a lot of things you guys are wondering. So if you have any questions, anything you'd want me to cover about COVID crisis deployments, please leave a comment down below. Message me on Instagram. I would love to answer it and help you. I hope this video helps answer some of the questions you have going into the COVID crisis deployment, because I remember the first time I did one of these assignments, I had no idea what to expect. So I feel like I've been talking for like 4 hours. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.